It's gotta suck to be a studio developing an open world survival game in 2026, because every time you put out a trailer or a teaser or a blog post with any images, you are automatically being compared to the day before. And in the case of a new game called The Dead We Knew, it's no different for them either. The Dead We Knew is an open world survival game set to release in August of 2026, where you can explore a dangerous open world, loot abandoned places, build your shelter, produce food, and manage your resources. You can survive alone or in co-op against zombies, hostile humans, and the growing dangers that come with the fog. Now, this game was linked in my Discord and I started to check it out. I clicked the first teaser that you can see on their YouTube channel, and almost all of the comments below it are just comparing it to the day before. And I gotta say, it's kind of giving similar vibes. Their marketing doesn't seem as polished as Fnatic was 3 years ago with the day before. This definitely feels a lot more indie, which, don't get me wrong, isn't a bad thing. I just think that because some of these shots actually look like an indie video game, maybe we should give a little bit more leeway and hope to fuck that they're not lying through their teeth like Fnatic was. But yeah, my Discord was asking me to take a look at some of the teaser trailers, maybe give a reaction to the game and let you guys know what I think about it. So we're gonna dive in, we're gonna watch both teasers, and then we're gonna talk about the Steam page. All right, so on their YouTube channel, there are 2 teaser trailers. This is the first one. So the studio is called May 19th Studio. It's an interesting name. I don't know what it means, but here we go. So you can see what I mean by it. It's definitely a lot more of an indie game feel in terms of some of the animations, the movement. But then you see this and it's like, it kind of looks dope. You know, it's very indie, but that's okay. The Dead We Knew. So there you have it. And then we have teaser 2 here. Let's take a look. I gotta say, like, this looks way more like a video game than the day before did. Now, granted, it's the same kind of thing. What is the game? Oh yeah, this is definitely indie. What is the actual game? You know, it's a survival game. You can craft, you can, you know, farm crops, you can play co-op. That's cool. Oh, here's some of the base building elements. Like, it doesn't look bad. I'll say this. Here's what I will say, just watching this. It doesn't look bad. It just looks like I have seen this a million times before, you know? It doesn't look like it's going to have that polish and that level of quality that the day before's original trailers portrayed that game as. You know what I mean? The reason why people were so excited about the day before was because we haven't seen a survival game with that level of visual quality, the amount of clutter on the ground, the environments look great. This game doesn't have a lot of those things. And so, like, the comparisons to the day before are I mean, it's just internet blabber, but it is funny that if you are making an open world survival game in 2026 that looks like this, you know, third person shooter, survival, there's urban environments, you are going to be compared to the day before. And that's what I said 3 years ago when that game did its thing. They came out and they fucking shit the bed. They ruined it for everybody else. So yeah, like I said, looking at their Steam page here, it does say that it's coming out in August of 2026. Right now, we don't have any sort of release date, but it is your typical survival game. Time passes, the weather changes, and every new day turns into a new struggle for survival. In a 24-hour day and night cycle, you gather resources, reinforce your shelter, and prepare for the threats ahead. It is cool that you can play 4-player co-op, explore together, defend together, build together. I do think that there are a lot of people who want a game like this, but they want it to be high quality. They want that Project Zomboid experience. They want the Dead Matter. They want the day before. They want to play in a survival game with their friends, but they want it to be polished. They want it to have a dense amount of things to loot and interact with. They want the vehicles. They want the vast amount of zombies on screen, and they want it at a visual standard that is equates to modern day gaming. And that's very tough to build, especially in the indie space. That is tough for a AAA developer to make, let alone, you know, an indie team with probably a small team, not a lot of resources, and you know, I'm guessing, is this their first game? Yeah, according to Steam, this is their first game. When you look up May 19 Studios, you see a Reddit post from 6 days ago. We are May 19, and after 3.5 years, we finally shared the trailer for our open world zombie survival game. It was removed from whatever fucking, this is game trailers. So they've been apparently working on this for 3.5 years. I think they're getting blocked a lot for self promo across Reddit, which is actually really funny as well. What I can tell you is that the Twitter account for this studio is based in Turkey. What that means, I don't know. Now, at this point in time, everything that I'm seeing, it doesn't scream scam. It screams indie development team that might not have the resources to market this thing properly. Here's what I would do if I'm in their shoes right now. I'm gonna move myself over here. As much as you might not think that these people are real or that it's just internet yapping, you have to beat the allegations, which means this guy over here is saying it feels like a Day Before remake, remembered me instead of the day before. Yes, the day after the day before. You have to shut these people up. How do you do that? You have to put out raw gameplay. If it's me right now, the next video that I'm putting out on my channel is 10 minutes of raw gameplay or an actual devlog discussing the development of the game so people can actually see what the development is. They can see what engine you're using. They can see how big your team is. And you need to start actually developing community engagement. So you're saying that this game is going to come out in August of 2026. I personally think that's fucking crazy that you've just started marketing yourself 7 days ago. When we look at the analytics on the SteamDB page, you guys have 546 followers, which is a number that kind of equates to the amount of wish lists that you guys have. You're in the top 1,100 when it comes to wish list activity, but what that means is you don't actually have, you're not actually in the 1,100 spot. When you look up the most wish listed games on Steam, The Dead We Knew doesn't come up at all, so we actually don't have numbers at how many wish lists you guys have. You need to build this base up before you even consider going live with a game right now. The biggest thing that I could tell you is to try to get within 7,000 to 10,000 wish lists, because then Steam sees that, okay, the game goes out, people actually see that there's some potential here. Maybe we can throw it in a couple different places on the storefront, and you need to build that base. You need to build this following. You need to have the community engaged before you actually go out live. If this game, I'm gonna say this, if this game fucking launches in August of 2026 with little to no marketing, or the marketing we just saw where they're just spamming different subreddits and getting deleted instantly, you aren't making any impact. You need to start, reaching out to creators. You need to start reaching out to press outlets. You need to start reaching out to prominent Twitter accounts that do these kind of coverage. You know, they put the 4 screenshots, they talk about your features. You need to start getting out there in the places that actually matter. You need to start building this community up, and you need to start engaging with them through devlogs, gameplay. You have a Discord link on your YouTube channel that leads nowhere. All of this stuff already has to be in motion months, if not years, before you're actually going out to the public. People need to understand that this isn't a scam, that this isn't a fly-by-night. They need you to gain their trust. And so for me, when I look at this, if you're not doing that already and this game is set to launch in 2 months, who gives a shit about any of this? That's my thought process. I don't care anymore, because to me, this feels like a fly-by-nighter. I'm not saying it's a scam. I'm just saying that you guys don't seem to know how to engage a community to actually make this a game that we all want to invest in as a community. So what we really have are a couple of teasers, a lot of people comparing it to the day before, wanting me to talk about it. Guys, I mean, it looks more like a real game than I think the day before did. If it looks and plays like this when it launches in August, I mean, it looks janky. There's, you know, animation, locomotion, needs to be worked. There's probably a bunch of things. It doesn't say that it's launching in early access, but it is just a basic 4-player co-op survival game that is in third person, that has some elements of the day before-ness. And I think a lot of people are just skeptical. New studio, we don't know the identities of anybody, which, I mean, to be fair, who cares? But I'm curious to see if the game is going to play and look like it does here when it launches later this summer. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you interested in this? Do you think they're lying? Do you think that the game is even going to be worthwhile? I'll be honest, the teasers do nothing for me. I just find it so funny that people are just dead set on comparing games like this to the day before. It just shows how much that game actually fucked up people's trust in developers. Leave a like on the video and subscribe so you never miss any of my content. As always, my name is Big Fry. Shout out to the Fry Nation, and I'll see you on the next one.